Hi everyone. In the part 2 of the lecture 10, the structure of the MOSFET is studied. In order to simplify our discussion, we will consider only a planar MOSFET which was used 10 years ago. For recent MOSFET structures such as a FinFET or a nanosheet transistor, more advanced lecture courses are strongly recommended. How can you realize the concept introduced in the previous video? In this sense, we must consider the electric isolation between terminals. All terminals should be properly isolated from other ones. The gate terminal is perfectly isolated through the oxide layer. It's okay. Then, how about the substrate? To be more specific, the substrate should be electrically isolated from two newly introduced terminals. When we remember that the substrate region is p-type doped, the answer is quite straightforward. Shortly speaking, we adopt p-n junctions for the electric isolation. Regions with n-type impurities are electrically isolated from the p-type substrate. At the same time, they can be used as reservoirs for electrons. The electrons move from the lowly biased terminal to the highly biased terminal. Therefore, the lowly biased terminal acts as a source of electrons. On the other hand, the highly biased terminal carries away the electrons just like a drain. In this sense, they are called source and drain respectively. They have identical structures. Although too much simplified, the fabrication process is introduced. It is noted that the patterning is done by the photolithography. On the p-type substrate, the oxide layer and the gate material are made. It is patterned in order to define the gate whose length is L. By the ion implantation, the source drain regions are made. Then, the metal contacts are formulated on the source drain regions. In the last slide, the cross-sectional preview of the MOSFET was shown. The vertical direction was perpendicular to the wafer surface. How about the top view? Actually, when the layout designer drew the MOSFET, they used the top view. Two boxes are required. One is for the diffusion region, corresponding to the source and drain, and the other for gate material. Their intersection with the length L and the width W is important. As we can see in the lecture 11, these parameters determine the IV characteristics of the MOSFET. Up to now, we have studied the structure of the MOSFET. The MOSFET with the p-type substrate is called the N-MOSFET. Here, N means that the electrons are charge carriers. There is also a dual device to the M-MOSFET. In this device, the holes are charge carriers. It is called the P-MOSFET. The substrate is N-type. When the gate voltage is negative, the inversion holes are found at the interface. The source drain regions are p-type. Simply speaking, the polarity of each region is inverted. In the lecture 11, we will study the IV characteristics of the MOSFET. Thank you.